Hey YouTube, I wanted to tell you about a saw that I'm working on and what I've got going on. The customer complaint was that he got the saw, it hadn't been run for a couple years. He had never had it running. He bought it off somebody in this condition, and he said he couldn't get it to run, or if it did run, it didn't run very well. First thing you want to do is check your fuel, see what it looks like, and the fuel smelled really clean. It was really good. I checked it. It looked like it was mixed correctly. If you have any doubt whatsoever about the fuel, empty the fuel and put in your own fresh fuel, so you know that's a variable that's taken care of. I then pulled off this cover and took a look at the air filter, which it was in good shape. You can see it sitting over here. I still haven't put it back on yet. Then at that point, you got to worry about how the carburetor might be as far as having residue in it, having old stale fuel in critical components, passageways and stuff like that in the carburetor. And I didn't really think that was going to be the case. Of course, check the spark plug, make sure that it looks good. And at that point, if you want to do a compression check, you can do that also. But it sounded good. I could tell by the pull that the compression was good. So what I did then was I pulled out the fuel filter that's on the end of the fuel line that's inside the gas tank. It's a weighted filter. I pulled that out, took a look at it, and it was fine. It was clean. It flowed great. So I knew at that point that the fuel system really didn't seem like it was the culprit. So I went to the other side, and that's the muffler side. Whenever I pulled off the muffler, I could tell that this area here was corroded up pretty good. However, it was still clear. This was the first thing that came off. This is a diffuser. Take the exhaust fumes coming out of the engine and diverting them in a direction that is pleasant for the user. This had some corrosion on it and was blocked to some extent, so I cleaned this up, but this is usually your culprit. And this is just the screen for suppression more than anything else. You can see that you can't see through this. It's solid. So there might be a problem with the original user putting too much oil in, because that's really the only way that this can get that jacked up is running heavy oil or the wrong oil, a bad oil. It's not a clean burn, and the residue is building up on the screen. Just to give you a heads up, this is how corroded it is. I'm not even really down to the wire mesh yet, and this is how much I've got just to start the cleaning process. Alright, so here we have it clean. You can see what it should look like, and that is pretty much see-through. It's just a heavy-duty screen. So now let's put it in and see how it runs. Alright, so I got the chainsaw kind of together, not all the way of course, and what this does whenever you take off the bar, it allows you to run the engine and not have the interference of the clutch or anything else to cause any running problems, to get it to a point where you know that it's strong enough to run the chain. So also it's a good idea, that way I can clean for the customer. I can clean all this up to make sure his oiler is still working and all that. But let's go ahead and try to start it. As soon as you hear it try to kick, go ahead and take it off choke. Alright, so there you have it. The chainsaw is all taken care of, and it was just a little bit of cleaning. So if you have one of these saws and you're experiencing a bog problem and you know that the fuel is good, and when I say good, old fuel is something over 30 days old. So if your fuel's not over 30 days old and you know that it's clean, or you've gone through the carburetor and cleaned everything up, the next thing to check is this here. Now honestly, I would probably, if you have this problem or you experienced it, and you want to check this first, this is really easy to do. Not hard at all. So I want to just let you know that this is one thing to look at whenever you're doing a chainsaw repair or a two-stroke repair. Remember that you just don't have to worry about the fuel getting into the carburetor and into the engine, but you also have to worry about the spark igniting the fuel at the correct time. You have to worry about if it's got enough compression to give you the power that it needs. And you have to make sure that the exhaust is allowing the burnt combustion to leave the saw at the same rate at which it's entering. So this is just a little bit of an update as far as what you need to do for your springtime chainsaw startup. I appreciate it as always watching, and if you like this video, click like or subscribe, and I'll try to get more like it. Thanks. Bye.